It had been 10 years since anyone had dared speak her name in his presence. 10 years since Malcolm Chase, now one of America's youngest billionaires, had erased every memory of Alara Minton, the woman who once stood beside him when he had nothing but dreams and unpaid bills. Back then, they'd shared a one-bedroom apartment above a laundromat, surviving on coffee and hope. She had believed in him when the world laughed at his ambition. But when success finally came, when Chase Holdings became a financial empire, he changed his number, his address, and his heart. Alara vanished quietly, the way women do when their love becomes a ghost story no one believes in anymore. Now, sitting in the glass fortress that overlooked the Manhattan skyline, Malcolm didn't think about her anymore. Or at least, that's what he told himself. The world saw him as a genius Forbes cover, charity dinners, tailored suits, yet every night, when silence replaced applause, he'd feel a strange unease like a name half remembered. Then came the night that changed everything. It was the annual Global Investment Gala, the crown jewel of the city's elite calendar. Malcolm's presence was tradition. The powerful came to be seen with him. The ambitious came to be noticed by him. Cameras flashed, champagne flowed, and orchestras filled the air with elegance. But as the grand doors opened and the crowd turned to watch, silence swept through the ballroom. A woman entered, tall, regal, wrapped in a gown of molten gold that shimmered like sunlight. Every head turned, whispers followed her like wind. Her skin glowed under the chandelier light. Her hair was styled in soft curls that framed her face like art. And when her eyes met Malcolm's, the glass in his hand trembled. Alara. She had returned, but she was no longer the girl who once shared his broken couch and dreams. She carried herself with the kind of quiet power that made even the rich take a step back. People whispered her new name, Alara Adebayo, founder of Adebayo Holdings, the African luxury conglomerate that had taken Europe by storm. The world now called her the Black Queen of Gold. Malcolm's breath caught in his throat. He had seen countless women in couture, but Alara had an aura no money could buy. He felt something unfamiliar, regret wrapped in awe. She approached him slowly, her heels tapping like a countdown. The room seemed to hold its breath. When she stopped before him, her voice was calm, smooth as silk over steel. "Malcolm Chase," she said, a soft smile curving her lips. "You still love gold, I see." He managed a tight smile, masking the storm inside. "It suits you better than it ever suited me." For a second, they simply looked at each other. 10 years of unspoken words hovered between them. Then she turned to walk away, leaving behind a faint scent of jasmine and 1,000 unsaid apologies. That night, Malcolm couldn't sleep. Her voice echoed in his mind. Her eyes replayed like an unfinished song. Who was she now? How had she risen to his world and surpassed it? The next morning, he ordered his assistant, "Find everything you can about Alara Adebayo." The report that landed on his desk 2 hours later stunned him. Her company had expanded across 3 continents, specializing in ethical gold mining, luxury design, and African heritage jewelry. She was not just rich, she was respected. She'd built an empire from nothing. He stared at her photo for a long time. It wasn't just beauty, it was command. He realized the cruel irony. He'd spent a decade chasing power, and she had quietly become the queen of it. That evening, as his penthouse lights reflected off the skyline, he whispered to no one, "Alara, what did I do to us?" 3 days after the gala, Malcolm found himself standing outside the headquarters of Adebayo Holdings, a building wrapped in gold-tinted glass like sunlight made solid. The irony wasn't lost on him. Once upon a time, Alara had dreamed of starting a jewelry brand called Aurora Gold. He'd laughed back then, calling it too sentimental. Now, she had built something far greater than he ever imagined. He stepped inside. Her office was spacious, but warm shelves lined with books on African art, leadership, and resilience. A massive portrait hung behind her desk, a woman wearing gold bangles, looking toward the horizon. It wasn't just art. It was a statement. Alara stood near the window when he entered. She didn't look surprised to see him. "Mr. Chase," she said softly. I wondered how long it would take. He swallowed. You always did see through me. Her lips curved slightly. That used to be a good thing. Now I'm not sure it matters. He hesitated, searching for words. Alara, I owe you... No, she interrupted, her tone steady. You owe yourself honesty. You didn't forget me because you had to. You forgot me because I reminded you of who you were before the world praised you. The silence that followed was heavy. He looked at her, really looked. The woman who once carried groceries up a fifth-floor walk-up was now commanding empires, and yet behind the gold and grace, her eyes still held something tender, something real. He took a step closer. Do you hate me? Ilara shook her head. No. Hating you would mean you still mattered. I just stopped waiting for you to become the man you promised you'd be. Malcolm's throat tightened. I never stopped thinking about you. You stopped calling, she replied simply. That said more than words ever could. He exhaled, defeated. Is there any way back? She turned to face him fully, then the light catching on her earrings, the faintest trace of sadness in her smile. There's no back, Malcolm. There's only forward. You taught me what love without respect feels like. Now I know what self-worth feels like. He nodded. Slowly, pain flickering behind his eyes. Then maybe I deserve to lose you. She studied him for a long moment, then whispered, We both lost something. But I found myself again in the silence you left behind. As he turned to leave, her voice stopped him once more. Malcolm, she said softly, for what it's worth, thank you. Without you, I might never have become her. He looked at her one last time, radiant, strong, untouchable, and realized the truth. He hadn't just lost the woman who loved him poor, he had lost the only person who ever saw the man behind his wealth. Outside, the city glimmered beneath the morning sun, and in that reflection of gold and glass, the billionaire finally saw what love looked like when it no longer needed him.